Hey guys, if you're new here and you like what I'm putting out, don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you never miss an upload. So the adventures of the Omega Rangers and Lord Drakkon in space continue in Power Rangers issue number 7, and this issue feels like it's setting up a brand new mini arc with the adventures in space we've been getting so far. So in this issue, the Omega Rangers and Lord Drakkon travel to a brand new planet that we've never seen before, and the Omega Rangers' goal is to recruit or help as many space folk they can and get their planet to safety before the Empyreals come down and wipe out their planet from the solar system or off the galaxy. And the Omega Rangers want to help out these people before the inevitable happens to their planet and it's destroyed. And it seems like with a planet under the rule of a great tyranny, that might be harder than it looks. So, let's talk about and review and discuss Power Rangers issue number 7 by Boom Studios. So our heroes have returned to the planet Safe Haven, and I love how this comic opens up, or this issue opens up, where you've got just panting, a ball bouncing. Well, you hear a boing and then you get the reveal, it's a ball bouncing. But you've got someone panting saying you put up a decent fight so far, but I'm not going down so easily. And you've got Yale the kitty with a big smirk on their face. And then when you look down, you see Zach, Jason, Drakkon, and Yale playing some kind of ball game, which is a lot of fun. They're involving Drakkon in their sports game. It's kind of cool that even though Drakkon's a psychopath, they're letting him hang out with him. He seems harmless so far. So Zach and Yale, they win the ball game, and I really like how this goes down, where Drakkon has the shock collar on him, so if he steps out of bounds of the game, he gets a shock, and Drakkon's response is, "Hey, I would have done the same to you, no hard feelings." After that, you then cut to Trini breaking pots with her hammer, and Jason walks up to her saying, "Hey, why didn't you join in?" And Trini didn't like the idea of Drakkon joining in on the games because Drakkon can't be trusted. She says, "I wouldn't want to play games with a guy who could stab me in the back." Literally. And while this is going on, Jason asks if anything's wrong with her, saying what happened on the planet Onyx, does that bother her? And Trini doesn't really give a response. She says she's fine, but when someone says they're fine, you probably know they're not fine. After that, we then get a throwback to Go-Go Power Rangers, where Jason makes a comment saying, "Seeing you like this reminds me of the early days where we used to morph and beat each other up in the woods." And Jason then says, "Things have changed since then. And I've been wondering," and Trini asks where Jason is going with this, and I was wondering where is Jason going with this, but after rereading it a couple of times, I get the feeling that Jason was going to ask Trini out again so they can be a couple again, like in Go-Go before the whole Necessary Evil arc started. So I do wonder if that's where Jason was going with the question, but I've also had this theory that whatever happens at the end of the Omega Ranger stuff is going to lead into the whole Zeo stuff where Jason becomes the Gold Ranger. It's why he's wearing the duster jacket and the bandana out in the middle of nowhere. He's going to be some sort of wanderer, but who knows? This is the comic. Things could change. Things have changed. So who knows where Jason was going with this conversation. He probably was going to ask Trini out on a date again. I don't know, but that's where I was going with it. So after that, we then have our Omega Rangers going over the game plan with how they're going to handle the Empyreals, because they've wiped out a planet that had over 2 billion people on it. So the Rangers, 11 and Drakkon, they need to think of some kind of game plan. And they go over how powerful the Zords are, and they might do some real damage if they use the right formation. And Zach brings up an interesting point saying, "Hey, maybe we need a new Blue Ranger. 11 has already depowered Kia, and we've got her Morpher, so it's about finding the right person." And Drakkon's like, "Well, blue's not my color, but..." And then you have but... and Trini just responds with, "Never gonna happen. Never." So I like that writing, because a lot of people in my comment section keep saying, "Wouldn't it be really cool if Drakkon became the new Blue Ranger?" And I think I made a video about that. I don't know when, but I don't know when I made this video, but I said, I don't think Drakkon's going to become the Blue Ranger. That would be really weird, and blue isn't really his color. So it's cool they wrote that in there. I think that was a nice little touch. I feel like Ryan was thinking about me. He probably wasn't, but it answers the question that a lot of people keep telling me, saying, oh, wouldn't it be cool if Drakkon became the Blue Omega Ranger? I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen. It could happen, but it probably won't happen. But you never know. But I also like Drakkon's response, like I said earlier. Yeah, blue's not really my color, but that got a laugh out of me. So Jason then asks Eleven, what planet are the Empyreals targeting next? And 11 responds with Haratina. And 11 gives the Rangers a warning, saying, the Haratinians, I think I'm pronouncing that right, are a notorious evil race who prey upon lesser developed worlds. They will not accept your help. And Drakkon's like, hey, your robot's making an excellent point, you better listen to him. And then we learn the backstory of this alien race. So this alien race moves from worlds to worlds, like the peaceful ones, the less developed ones. They come down, they kill everything in sight, and then with the ones that are worthy or they can find use out of, they put them to work and make them gather the resources from the planet and give them to Haratina. So these guys are really fucked up, but having a brand new race introduced into the Power Rangers universe is really interesting. And this race, like, once we meet them, there's a lot to talk about with how they do things. So even though it might seem impossible to reason with these people, the Omega Rangers want to give it a try, and they teleport down to the planet, and they wind up in the marketplace. And this marketplace, it reminds me so much of Bali that I went to last year, where people in the marketplace just shoving stuff in your face, wanting you to buy it. And they're the vibes I got here when the Omega Rangers teleported to this planet and wound up in their marketplace, because there's this one guy offering Trini like a blood mask that will make her look young and offers to put it on her, and Trini says, touch me, and lose a hand. And then, of course, the Omega Rangers kind of have to initiate the fight while they're here, because there are some not so good people on this planet. Zack stumbles across one guy who is some sort of poacher that executes animals or sells them off. It's sort of like lobsters, but it's like weird space kitty cat creatures. And hearing that the creature can talk, Zack pummels this guy into the ground, gives him a nice smack. And I love the response that Jason says. Jason's like, Zack, and Zack's like, I don't want to hear it. And Jason goes, I was just going to say nice swing. So that initiates a fight between the Omega Rangers and the people living on this planet, but soon the people from the castle soon show up and bring the Omega Rangers to the king, and this king is kind of weird. So the Omega Rangers come face to face with the Emperor and the Empress of this planet, and the Empress is the first to turn them down and say the Omega Rangers can't be trusted, and the king's like, bitch, shut up, and tells her to get out of here. So the queen is taken away, and the Emperor's like, hey, how can we trust you Rangers? You guys have been nothing but an inconvenience and preventing our expansion, denying us resources, and killing our soldiers, so why can I trust you? Because you Rangers claim to do it all in the name of peace. And that's an interesting line, that there are Rangers out there stopping whatever the Haratinas are doing, and that's some interesting bit of information. I kind of wish we could expand on that a little bit more, but I can understand why the other Rangers are out there doing it, because they're stopping whatever these guys are doing as they conquer planet to planet, enslaving other people. They're taking out the soldiers that might be a threat or who are a threat. So that's really cool that we kind of know that more Rangers are out there somewhere in the depths of space doing their thing. So the king doesn't really listen, but Jason does respond with saying, hey, I can't speak about the past, Emperor, but here today we're here to help you. And the Emperor just kind of laughs at him and takes the Omega Rangers outside and saying, hey, this is my army, I've got a really cool army, I don't care about these Empyreals, we'll be just fine. So just like Drakkon and 11 said, the king doesn't really give a fuck and orders the Omega Rangers to be taken away and fed to his pet Autobox, which I kind of wish we got to see. It sounds really cool, but we don't get to see what it is. So the Omega Rangers are being taken away, and suddenly they're saved by mysterious cloak beings. And then on the final 2 pages, you're revealed that the cloak beings are other guards of the palace, and it's the Empress asking for the Omega Rangers' help, saying, "I am Empress Eva Till, and despite my husband's convictions, I'm here to humbly beg you to save my people." So it seems like some sort of coup or mutiny is going on right now, and the Queen or the Empress actually wants the Omega Rangers' help despite what she said earlier. So I'm guessing she was listening in, or she doesn't want to see her people being destroyed, but her husband's a stubborn bastard and doesn't really care what happens. So it's cool to see that the Queen is going to be working with the Omega Rangers in the next issue. And that's where issue 7 ends. So overall, I thought this was a good issue. A lot of world building and learning about a brand new alien race and what's out there in the galaxy of the Power Ranger comics. We're also slowly building towards the Empyreals. It seems like forever, but we're getting there eventually. And I get the feeling that the Empyreals are going to show up next issue, and they're going to be a major threat to the Rangers or the Omega Rangers, and they'll be unable to stop them, and this planet will probably bite the dust as well. That's my big prediction, because if you follow the slight spoilers here, if you follow the, what's the word I'm looking for? Plot synopsises for upcoming issues that Boom Studio releases, they do say that the Omega Rangers go back to Safe Haven after a defeat. So I get the feeling that something is going to go wrong in issue 8, and issue 9 is the outcome of that destruction that happens to the planet that leads to Drakkon vs. Jason that they've been teasing. So I'm excited to see what happens, but I get the feeling that whatever happens next month, it's not going to be good, or it's not going to end well for our heroes. But either way, I enjoyed this issue. I thought it had a lot of fun moments. We got, like I said earlier, we got to see some world building and stuff like that, and I'm excited to see where it goes next. Anyway guys, it's going to bring my discussion, my review, my mini podcast of Power Rangers issue 7 to a close. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and turn on all notifications so you never miss an upload. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and share this video around on social media. Special thanks to all the members such as Swagger4. If you want to get your name shouted out like Swagger4 over here, become a Zord tier member or higher for special perks on the channel and stuff like that. With that said, I'm out of here. Have a wonderful day or night, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, take care, bye bye.